Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 4, and in this video we are going to present our topic entitled A Translation Analysis of the Selfish Giant by Oscar Wilde. In this presentation, we will explore how this famous literary work is translated from English into Indonesian, especially how the meaning, style, and moral values are maintained in the target language. And the next is our member. For the first is me. My name is Indah Yulia Aini. And the second is Himatul Aliyah. And the last is Intan Cahyaning Tias. So for the first is there is text identity. The Selfish Giant is a short story written by Oscar Wilde. The genre of this story is a moral allegory, which means the story contains deep moral and spiritual message. The source language is English, and the target language is Indonesian. This translation is classified as a literary and narrative translation with symbolic meaning. This story is one of Oscar Wilde's most popular works and has been translated into many languages, including Indonesian. However, translating a literary text is not only about changing words from one language to another. It also involves transferring emotion, figurative language, cultural meaning, and writing style. In this analysis, we apply three translation theories. For the first, it's Catford's translation shift theory. For the second is Nida's dynamic equivalence. And the last is Newmark's communicative translation. There is some purpose of the analysis. For the first is to identify translation shift in the Indonesian version. And the second is to compare the linguistic and stylistic differences between the two languages. For the third is to evaluate the translation based on accuracy, readability, and acceptability. And the last is to analyze how figurative language is translated. For the next slide there is a story summary. This story tells about a giant who is very selfish and does not allow children to play in his beautiful garden. Because of this, the garden is cursed with eternal winter, symbolizing emotional coldness. One day, a small child enters the garden and changes the giant's heart. The giant finally realizes his mistake, destroys the walls, and lets the children play again. After that, spring returns, representing the giant's inner transformation. In the end, the child saw a spiritual meaning. The main message of this story is the love and kindness bring true happiness. So in the next slide there is a linguistic features of the original text. Oscar Wilde's writing is rich in 1. Imagery, 2. Personification, 3. Symbolism, and 4. Poetic expression. These elements make the story beautiful and emotional, but also difficult to translate.
Okay, the next slide is about linguistic features of the original text. In this slide, I explain the language features used in the Selfish Giant. The original text used many beautiful literary styles like simile, personification, and symbolism. That's why the story feels alive and the atmosphere is very vivid. However, this also makes the translation more difficult because the translator has to keep the same feeling. In this slide, there are two terms. The first is imagery. Imagery is the use of descriptive language that evokes sensory experiences such as sight, sound, color, texture, or atmosphere so that readers can see or feel the scene. For example, beautiful flowers like stars make use imagining glowing flowers. So, imagery helps readers feel the atmosphere of the giant's garden. Okay, the second is personification or prosopopoeia. Personification is a literary device where non-human objects or nature are described as if they have human feelings or action. Prosopopoeia is a stronger form of personification. Non-human elements behave completely like humans. For example, the trees were delighted. The trees are described as if they can feel happiness. The function is to make the story more emotional and alive. Still on the same slide, there are two more language styles again. The first is symbolism and the second is poetic expression. Symbolism is the use of objects, characters, or events to represent deeper meanings, such as moral, spiritual, or emotional. For example, winter, the giant's cold heart, the little child, innocence and kindness. The symbols give a moral message to the story. And the second is poetic expression. Poetic expression involve rhythm, repetition, metaphor, and beautiful diction similar to those found in poetry. For example, the flowers were looking up and laughing. This makes the story feel gentle and emotional. Okay, the next slide is about comparison of SL and TL. This slide explains the difference between the original text and the translation. The English text is long, poetic, and full of literary styles. The Indonesian translation is made simpler so it is easier for children to read. Some poetic sentences are reduced to avoid confusion. This slide discusses Catford translation shift. The first is structure shift. This is a change in sentence structure so it fits Indonesian grammar and sound natural. The second is class shift. This is a change in word class. For example, from an adjective to a phrase. Example, beautiful flowers become bunga-bunga yang indah. This happens because Indonesian does not stack adjective like English. This slide discusses Catford translation shift. The first is structure shift. Structure shift is a shift resulting from differences in grammatical structure between English and Indonesian. For example, in SL, he was a very selfish giant. And TL, dia adalah raksasa yang sangat egois. Indonesian removes unnecessary modals, would, change adjective order, and use yang clauses. This makes the sentence natural and grammatical in the TL. The second is class shift. A shift where a word in the SL changes its word class in the TL. Adjective to paras, verb to adjective. For example, in SL, beautiful flowers. In TL, bunga-bunga yang indah. Indonesian avoids stack adjective and expresses qualities using descriptive phrases. This helps maintain clarity and fluency without losing meaning. This slide still talks about Catford's theory. The third is unit shift. Unit shift, a change in the size or rank of a linguistic unit, word to phrase or phrase to noun. For example, high wall and TL, tembok yang tinggi. Children shouting. In TL, teriakan anak-anak. The fourth is intrasystem shift. A shift within a similar grammatical system, especially when the SL and TL handle number or tense differently. Example, flowers in TL, bunga or bunga-bunga. English definite or indefinite articles, in TL, no articles. This slide about figurative language shift. The first is reduction of personification. Reduction of personification, making strong personification less intense. For example, the trees were delighted. Pohon-pohon itu sangat gembira. Function is personification is softened to sound natural. The second is softening of imagery. Definition, making vivid imagery more literal. For example, flowers looking. Bunga tampak ceria. The function, imagery, is toned down to increase clarity. The third is explication of symbolism, making implied symbolic meaning more explicit. For example, my garden which is paradise, tamanku yaitu surga. The function is symbolism becomes clearer for readers. And the last is simplification of metaphor, replacing complex metaphor with simpler expression. The north wind roared. In Indonesia, angin bertiup kencang. The function is easier to understand while keeping the meaning. Personification is softened to sound more natural. Imagery is simplified so children can easily understand it without imagining complex metaphor. Symbols are made more explicit so the meaning is clearer. And metaphors are simplified to keep the meaning but make it easier to understand.
On this slide, I will explain two main points, literary style reduction and dominant translation techniques. First, let's look at literary style reduction. In the target language or TL, several stylistic elements are intentionally simplified. This is done mainly because the translation is aimed at young readers. For example, imagery is simplified so that description become easier for children to understand. Personifications is reduced. This means emotional expressions are still clear, but they are less figurative than in the original. And then symbolism. Symbolism is also made more explicit. For instance, metaphors such as Taman Surga are explained more clearly for educational purposes. Overall, this change help make the text more accessible and more suitable for children. Next, on the right side, we have dominant translation technique. The translation uses several techniques, including simplification, which reduce linguistic and stylistic complexity, and then explicitation, which means explaining ideas that were only implied in the search text, and then naturalization, making expressions sound natural in Indonesia. And then dynamic equivalence, focusing on meaning and effect rather than exact wording. Minor omission, where small visual or stylistic detail are removed because they don't affect meaning. And the last adaptation, adjusting cultural references so they fit Indonesian readers. This technique helps create a translation that is clear, natural, and child-friendly. Now let's move to the evaluation of the translation. The translation is evaluated across 4 aspects. The first, accuracy is high. The main plot, idea, and moral message are preserved well. The second, style maintenance is rated medium. The poetic style and literary tone from Oscar Wilde's original text are reduced. And the third, readability is very high. Readability is very high because the language is simple, clear, and appropriate for children. And the fourth, acceptability is also high. The text feels natural and easy for Indonesian readers to understand. Below that, we have the strengths of the translation. Some key strengths include it is very easy for children to read and understand. The translation sounds natural culturally and linguistically. And then the emotional and moral message remain strong. And it is very effective for educational and teaching purposes. So overall, the translation is highly readable and child-friendly. On this slide, I will explain the weakness of the translation and also present the final conclusion. First, the weakness. Imagery and poetic style are reduced, so the text becomes less expressive. And the second, personification becomes less vivid than in the original version. And the symbolic depth is not as rich as Oscar Wilde's original story. And the third, because of simplification, some literary aesthetics are lost. Despite this weakness, the final conclusion is still positive. The Indonesian translation of the Selfish Giant is communicative, readable, and child-friendly. Although it reduced some poetic elements from Oscar Wilde, the translation successfully delivered the moral message, emotional tone, and narrative structure. Catford's translation shifts are clearly applied to adapt the text to Indonesian linguistic norms and to make it appropriate for young readers. So overall, the translation fulfills its purpose very well. Okay, that's all from us. Thanks for watching and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.